It's the latest travel headache causing frustrations for airline passengers. The fallout from a system-wide shutdown at WestJet has left many dealing with delayed and canceled flights and questions about what they should do next.
Joining us this morning with more is passenger rights expert Gabor Lukacs. Good morning, Gabor. Thank you so much for joining us.
Good morning.
First off, how do you think WestJet has done communicating the changes with passengers, and are they holding itself accountable?
WestJet has done a dismal work at communicating with passengers, and it is not living up to its legal obligations under the Air Passenger Protection Regulations.
Why is that?
WestJet was required to communicate with passengers promptly and every 30 minutes about delays, cancellations, and WestJet was required to provide passengers with meals, hotels, and also rebooking on its own flights or flights of other airlines if it is unable to rebook passengers within 9 hours. WestJet has also been, as I understand, misinforming passengers that these type of cancellations or delays are not within its control, while the reality is that it is perfectly within WestJet's control. It was a data center issue that is WestJet's data center, either its own maintained center or its subcontractors. They're fully responsible for it, and this is something which is clearly within WestJet's control, and they also have to therefore pay passengers lump sum compensation up to $1,000 for passengers who were delayed as a result of these events.
So we're not even in the holiday season, but something like this happens, and it certainly has our attention. So what are we learning from this chaos that's happened over the weekend that people need to be aware of the next time they're on a flight?
There are no real lessons for passengers because passengers are not at fault here. This is something within WestJet's control. And what we should learn, perhaps as the public in general, is that the federal government is not enforcing passenger rights at all. The powers to enforce those rights are there. WestJet could be facing $25,000 per passenger per incident fine for each of the violations, especially for not rebooking passengers, not providing meals and hotels, and not providing compensation. However, up until now, not a single penalty was issued to any airline in Canada for not paying compensation. The Canadian Transportation Agency has been very cozy with the airlines. They have a huge backlog of complaints, and the work is not getting done. The complaints are just piling up, but airlines are not facing consequences for their unlawful behavior.
You wonder if it's a staffing issue or whatnot, but so people are helpless at the airport. What's your advice for people? Because there's really not much they could do, but what should they do if they say have a WestJet flight, it's going to be canceled or delayed? Do they just go and right away search for another airline?
You have to give a little bit of opportunity to WestJet to rebook you. But if they are not living up to that, then yes, I would buy a ticket on an Air Canada or any other airline and then make WestJet pay for it. And on top of it, I would also seek the up to $1,000 lump sum compensation. If WestJet doesn't pay within 30 days, I would serve WestJet with small claims court papers. The unfortunate reality in Canada is that small claims court is the only meaningful venue where passengers can seek redress against airlines because the federal government is not protecting passengers.
So, Gabor, just quickly, where should people, passengers, anyone who's affected by this or anyone who thinks that they have a flight coming up and they don't want to be impacted over the holiday season if there's a delay or a cancellation, where should they be applying the pressure to make sure that their passenger rights are protected?
Passengers should be speaking to their members of parliament, and they should demand that the Canadian Transportation Agency be facing a federal inquiry about why laws are not being enforced. But even more importantly, the Canada Transportation Act should be revamped to close the many loopholes that the current government created when it enacted this smoke and mirrors called Air Passenger Protection Regulations, and that enforcement is going to be enshrined in the statute itself and with clear directions about mandatory enforcement. What we would need at this point is something similar to what you have in criminal law about minimum penalties. There has to be some clear guidance from Parliament what the government must do and not just may do to enforce passenger rights.
All right, and for now, keep all receipts, meals, accommodation, gas, and whatnot. Gabor, thank you so much for your time and your expertise.
Thank you very much for having me.